jumping in part 2. I hope you've all had a good day today and it wasn't too hard working, or if you had it off, I hope you had a nice relaxing day. Anyway, I'm Lisa and I will be going over part 2 tapping in with you tonight. So welcome, I hope you enjoy it, and if you have any questions, I'll explain how you can communicate with me in just a moment. So first off, we will do an acknowledgement of country. Oh, what's going on? 1 second, I've just got to go back. Didn't realise this was going to happen. Sorry, this might take a little minute. Sorry about that. Right, okay, welcome everyone. Let's get into it. Let's do an acknowledgement of country first. 30 Foot Drop acknowledges the traditional owners of country throughout Australia and recognises their continuing connection to land, waters and community. We pay our respects to them and their cultures and to the elders, both past and present. Let's just go over the funding for 30 Foot Drop. 30 Foot Drop would like to acknowledge the Department of Communities Disability Services for funding this and many other initiatives. Without their support, so many projects such as Two Wise Monkeys would never see the light of day, and the community would be so much more poorer for it. This workshop is part of the realities and advantages of the Access and Inclusion Grant awarded to 30 Foot Drop as part of Information, Linkages and Capacity Buildings 2018 and 2019. We'll just go over some housekeeping. Unfortunately, we do not have the resources to monitor all of our live streams during the sessions. So if you want to ask any questions, just head over to www.30footdrop.com.au/live, and there is a chat box under this video. Just type away any questions that you may have. It doesn't even need to be about this webinar. It could be about disability in general or past webinars, just anything you like. Send anything to me. Okay. So we'll be covering a lot of information in a short period of time. So we recommend that you guys, if possible, can take actions to minimize any distractions. So keep the kids in another room if you want to keep the information flowing. Okay, please make sure as well that 30 Foot Drop is tagged in all social media posts. So if you decide that you want to tag us or you want to talk about us, if you can tag us, that'd be great. And if you know anyone that might be interested in doing these webinars, let them know. Please share our information. Also, like and share our Instagram pages and Facebook pages. We feel our knowledge and messages are so important, and it'll be all better for the community if we all knew some of this stuff. We'll also be recording this session and posting it, so if you want to review it, we'll be posting it to the 30 Foot Drop Vimeo library and YouTube channel. So you can Google that and have a look at us on there. All of the research I'll be talking about tonight and in past webinars is all available on our website under our sources and then resource library. So you can head in there and research anything I've talked about. Lots of good information in there, so if you need to know any answers, it's there, or feel free to just ask us a question in the chat box. Okay. So, your wise monkeys. These are the monkeys. I am hear no evil. So now I'll just tell you a little bit about myself and how I am with 30 Foot Drop. So I am hear no evil. Just by looking at me, you probably can't tell what I may suffer from. Through me, you will realise that you will hear no evil about impairment. My story is a hidden one. At age 8, I was diagnosed with mild dyslexia. Teachers used to hit me on the head, read out my low marks, yell at me in front of my classmates. Why don't you understand? What's wrong with you? Making me feel completely dumb and unworthy. And back in the day when I was 8, there wasn't too much known about dyslexia. There was all the little testing going on, but for a girl, it probably wasn't as common. So I just felt like no one really gave me that much of a chance, really, to, like, they just thought, oh, she just doesn't know, she's dumb, she's this, she's that. Whereas, as time went on, the testing got better and there's just so much more help out there, which is just great. So, if your kids are struggling, there's help out there all around. So despite these challenges growing up, the dyslexia only made me more determined to succeed and prove these teachers wrong. I passed school, I got 90% in art, 90 something in photography. I did really well in the creative side, but it wasn't until I was about 13 that I realised that I could do art and photography. I was in an art class drawing a still life with all of my friends that, were really brainy and all of that. So I start drawing and I draw this still life, and the teacher stops and picks it up and shows everyone and says, this is exactly how you should do it, this is awesome. And I was shocked, and then I looked around and I thought, oh, hang on, I actually kind of am okay at this. So, you've just got to find that talent within you. It may take a little time, but you'll find it somewhere. It'll come to you. No one's perfect. We can't be all great at maths and spelling and reading, but in other ways, I'd rather be more creative. Okay, so isn't there supposed to be 3 wise monkeys? I'll just explain. Ben is the other monkey. He is see no evil. He's not with us tonight, but he will be here tomorrow night, and I will let him explain his story to you. Yes, okay, so it's supposed to be 3 wise monkeys. Who do you guys think it is? You guessed it. It's you. Okay. The aim of today's workshop is to turn you into a wise monkey. You will begin on a journey of realising that, impairment or not, we are all human and deserve to be acknowledged and treated with respect, the same as anyone else in the community. Very important message. Okay, outline and method of today. So how are we going to get you started on the path of a wise monkey? Well, there's a lot to learn about people with impairment and how to employ these amazing people in your business. First up, we're going to look at disability employment service providers, what they are and how they can help your business. After that, we'll go through 5 tips on how you can prepare your business to employ people with a disability or impairment. To finish up, we'll have an open forum where we will answer any of your questions. So how are we going to cover this? What will our teaching method be? The answer is fun, experience, and open, honest discussion. So once again, feel free to ask any questions. None are off limits. We've probably heard, there's nothing we haven't heard, so don't be afraid to ask anything. As well, you'll notice that there's not much written contents on these slides. This is because you're here to interact with the presenters and take it all in rather than staring at the screen and quickly trying to read everything. We just do most of the talking, so it makes it easy for you, and it also makes it easy for people with impairments to do this. People that struggle with learning and all of that, they don't have to read anything. They just have to listen and watch the pictures, and it should all make sense for them. Okay, let's go to terminology review. To reduce confusion and ensure understanding, I want to review some terminology that we'll be using in the session. Okay, the first up is the difference between disability and impairment. An impairment is an injury, illness, or congenital condition that causes or is likely to cause a loss or difference in physiological and psychological function. In short, your impairment is your medical diagnosis. So my example is that I have mild dyslexia. That's my medical diagnosis. A disability, on the other hand, is the limitation of opportunities to take part in society on an equal level with others due to social and environmental barriers. It is, as the word implies, something that makes you unable to access or participate in something. So my example, or an example for someone with disability, would be that too much wording, complex information, or stylized script sometimes can make it hard for people with dyslexia to understand, which then makes it hard for people like us to get the right information that we need to use your service. This is so important, and this is such important information because, you know, some people's impairments like mine are hidden. So you could have all this information out there on your business, but there could be a percentage of people that the message isn't getting across, or it's too complicated. You know, there's a lot to think about when setting up your websites and services, just to make it easy to understand for everyone. Anyway, I hope that all makes sense to everyone. Feel free to ask any questions if it doesn't make sense. So, access. Access refers to the removal or reduction of physical barriers to participate in activities and functions of the community. At its core, access focuses a lot on the physical world around us and is easily assessed by a checklist. Inclusion is more a psychological state of being, and is the process hereby every person, irrespective of their age, disability, gender, religion, sexual preference, or nationality, who wishes to, can participate fully in all aspects of an activity or service in the same way as any other member in the community. Inclusion is making sure that everyone can take part. So everyone can be involved in an event or a service, just including everyone, not just people that are able. I hope this all makes sense once again. Right, let's head into today's tapping in. Okay, disability employment services, what are they? Some of you may not have even heard of them if you're just new to all this. Okay. Disability employment services help people with a disability to find work and keep a job. Providers of disability services are called DES providers for short. Through DES providers, people with a disability, injury, or health condition may be able to receive assistance to prepare for, find, and keep a job. How awesome is it? And who here didn't know that these were around? I didn't before I was here. Okay. DES providers are a mix of large, medium, and small for-profit and non-for-profit organisations that are experienced in supporting people with a disability, as well as aiding employers to put in place practices that support the employee in the workplace. It's amazing what they do. So if you're having trouble finding work, or you know anyone that is looking for work that may have an impairment or a disability, look up your local DES provider. There's so many around. Or even if you want to, you can head over to our website and there's all the information there on DES providers, how to contact them, and there might even be a few local ones in there too. Okay, how are DES providers funded? DES providers are funded by the government. Providers receive payments for helping participants to find and maintain work. Payments are structured, so providers earn more funding when they place more people into lasting employment. So that's awesome, an awesome thing to do. You know, the government pays the DES provider to find these people work, and it's a win-win situation for everyone. So once again, acts as a great incentive, and they also, with that rule, they are making sure that the best possible matches are made, because otherwise it's a waste of time and money. Okay, services, job matching, role creation and support. First up, we'll head into job matching. How do DES providers make sure they find the right match? It's about understanding both parties. The DES provider is the link between the two. The DES provider will help to find the job seeker's career history and aspirations, will help to understand their barriers and work with those. They work with the employee by exploring their qualities and capabilities. They also will help get the candidate's job ready through work experience, training and volunteering. Making sure the candidate is as job ready as they can be. Okay, business. DES providers will help the employee and the employer understand their new employer's business needs. So the DES provider will help the employee to understand what their job is about and what the business needs them to do in their role. So they describe and discuss business dynamics and create a suitable role. Once the employee and the employer fully understand both sides, they then match the person with the job, which meets both parties. So that is job matching. Okay, where do participants come from? DES candidates are not forced into employment. So in saying this, you haven't got someone that doesn't want to be there. They are already actively looking for work through the DES provider, and they clearly want to be there, otherwise they wouldn't have gone to that effort. They come to the DES provider in a number of ways. These are through word of mouth, self-referral following a discussion with a team member or family member or friend, self-referral after exposure to advertising on social media platforms, referral from a health professional, community service or school, referral from Centrelink or a government agency, self-determining move from another provider, community talks, community help desks, pop-up shops, employment forums and expos. So there's a lot of places that these clients come from, and it's just really great that all these people are starting to talk about getting these people with disability and impairment involved in the community work. Let's have a look at role creation and job carving. What is this? This is about improving a business's efficiency, finding tasks that can be done by people less qualified and cheaper, allowing the more qualified to continue being productive. Okay, an example of this. There are 4 mechanics employed at a workshop. They spend at least 30 minutes each day cleaning up the workshop. During this time, they are not creating profit and costing a total of 2 hours' wages. Employing someone to come in for 2 hours a day at a lower rate will allow the mechanics to continue generating profit for the business. And how amazing would it feel as a business owner to employ someone that really, really wants a job? And how beneficial would it be to you as a business owner to save time and money by employing someone who is seeking work through a DES provider? It's a win-win situation, and it's just crazy that more people aren't doing it. But after this, let's hope they do. I also noticed the other day in the Good Guys, they had a young guy working in there who was on a mobility scooter. And I thought to myself, what an inclusive company this is. And I really hope that more businesses embrace it. This guy just looked so happy and just content being there, happy to help anyone that walked in the door, had a uniform on. It was great. We just need to see that more. I hope I'm making sense. And if there's any questions, head over to the chat box. Okay, support. As well as job matching and role creation, DES providers also offer the following 2 free services. These are candidate support and application assistance. Let's go through candidate support. DES providers support their candidates in their role by regular on-off-site visits where they ensure the candidate continues understanding the employer's expectations and needs. They also look for any requirements for assistive technology for both parties. So if there's anything that the employer or the employee might need, like a different keyboard or a different mouse, a different chair, different desk, the desk provider will go over that with everyone and they will figure out something and head over to the funding. There's funding available for these things, which we go over in tapping in part 1. Okay. Oh, I've just gone on a tangent then. Okay, and they also monitor developing requirements to maintain performance and deal with any questions or issues swiftly. Most desk providers will be contactable outside of the office hours, which is awesome because there's lots of people that may struggle with anxiety and stuff like that. So it just means they've got that support person there to help them by having trouble getting up for work that day, or that something's happened at work that they need to talk to their desk provider buddy or something like that. It's just great that they've got that person that they could talk to. Okay, application support. Desk providers will provide free assistance with the following applications: wage subsidies, workplace modifications through Job Access. So if they needed a new desk or chair, you can head over to Job Access and they will be able to help you out with that. Both of these subsidy sources are covered in Tapping 1, which you can book into if you missed it, or it will be on again on the 24th of February, I think. So anyway, if I'm wrong, please just look it up on the website, www.30footdrop.com.au/live. Have a look for Tapping in part 1 if you wanted to look into the subsidies and job access information. As well, head over to the live chat box and send me any questions if you aren't getting what I'm saying so far. Okay, how to get started. Get in touch with your local desk provider. Provide them with the required information and then employ the matched candidate. The desk provider will gather the required evidence for starting and organising the employee. Fill out all of the paperwork and any other requirements in order to proceed with the employment. This is so cool. How stress-free would it be for both parties if you've got someone there that's filling out all the paperwork, sorting it all out? You just need to ring up the desk provider and they'll pretty much sort it out for you. And they will make sure that you've got the right match. So enjoy your new employee. Next is preparing your business. Preparing your business. So now that you have committed to employing someone with a disability, what's next? There are 5 tips to get you started and to ensure your new employee reaches their full potential. Let's go through these. Candidate selection. As with all hiring, it's important to get the right match. A person's disability may be irrelevant to the kind of work required, which means people with a disability are employed across the board. Using a desk provider will give you access to a far wider talent pool of people with objective and relevant advice when making their decision. Disability awareness training. This is something that a lot of people don't know about, so it's really important if you want to employ someone with a disability or impairment. Many people are apprehensive when dealing with a new team member that has a disability. Conducting targeted training for your staff can address these questions and help people be confident working with this new colleague. This promotes positive attitudes, teamwork, and ensures everyone is treated equally and fairly. Funding is available for awareness training through Job Access. Okay, the next one is accessibility. Sorry, I've just lost my iPad just turned off. Whoops, Maybe a minute. Okay, accessibility. Preparing the workplace so that it is accessible will allow the employee to do their job and help with a smooth onboarding process, making sure the person with the disability is involved because they know what works best for them. Their needs will vary depending on the employee's disability or health condition. Funding is available for all these modifications. Other considerations may include rosters, work times and practices, as sometimes it's harder for someone with a disability to be at work at 7 a.m. in the morning. They could have a carer at home, they need more time to get ready. It's just important to accommodate their needs and make it work for both of you. Induction and mentoring. Your new employee should receive an induction, relevant workplace training and ongoing support through a designated buddy or mentor, especially in the early stages of their employment, which is important. So this is a workplace buddy that's there helping them get through, teaching them things and just making sure they're okay. Think about any reasonable adjustments beforehand that may be necessary to make the induction and intake process more mutually rewarding for the person. Number 5, post-placement consultant. If your new employee is connected with a desk provider, then they will have a consultant allocated to provide post-placement support completely free of charge. In addition to the supporting the employee, the consultant is also intended as a go-to person if you have any questions or concerns. So that's for the employer as well. If they have any questions or concerns to do with the work or the candidate, they can also contact the DES provider. The consultant is a free resource to you and your team to ensure things run as smoothly as possible in the first few months of the role. The DES providers want to make the work placement work and to ensure that it's really successful. So if you're out there thinking that you would like to give this a go, it'd be so awesome to see. You just need to contact the local DES provider, tell them what you're after, and the world's yours. You can find the perfect person, and I'm sure that perfect person is out there for you. Okay, so that is a wrap for today. We're going to head offline for, let's say, 5 minutes. If you would like to ask me any questions or are unsure about anything, just head over to www.30footdrop.com.au/live and head to the live box, and then the chat box, and you can type away your questions. So I will turn the screen off for 5 minutes and it will show you the link actually on how to contact me, and I will see you at 25 to 7. See you soon. Okay, welcome back. It doesn't appear that we have any questions tonight, but that's fine. You probably want to go and have your dinner or go and hang out with your kids, do some homework. So, in saying that, thank you so much for joining me tonight. And also, if you could you head over to the website, which is under this video, and fill in the survey for tonight. So that's tapping in part 2. There's only about 5 or 6 questions on there. If you could just quickly fill that out, the feedback is really good for future. And any feedback you've got, please just let us know. Thank you so much for joining me, and we will see you tomorrow morning, 11 a.m. for tapping in part 3. Have a good night. See you later.